Okay, good morning. This is a teaching for women. I just want to make sure I say that before I get started. So, I just want to talk for a few minutes about a video that my brother Nikolai did. Actually, it's a two-part video. He he did as a two-part video recently. He did part 1 and part 2, and it's absolutely the truth. There are so many distractions that Satan is using, like he's using the deceptions of the world. Like when we start waking up to things that are happening and we start waking up to the truth, we are really need to be focused on the truth that we are awakened to biblically from the Bible. All like the apostate church, the fact that we need to be keeping the commandments, that we need to stop doing Christmas and Easter, that we need to be keeping the Sabbath, all of that. But there are distractions in the world. There are so many that were deceptions in the world that can be distractions and hindrances to us because they're definitely there. And of course, I think most of us want people to see that. We want people to know that. But in reality, telling people that we're deceived in politics and in Hollywood and all those things that have to do with the world, it's really not going to help them any as far as getting them into the kingdom. We're supposed to be looking for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And we're supposed to be telling them the gospel and the refreshing of the covenant and getting them in covenant before tribulation comes. But if we're focused on the deceptions that are happening out in the world, yes, I mean the whole world is corrupt. This is Mystery Babylon, and everything is just, so many people are deceived in so many ways. I mean, I know lots of stuff about like Washington D.C. and the Vatican and Hollywood and politics, and that people are just so deceived and they don't even know it. But in reality, teaching them that they're deceived in those ways is not going to really do them any good. So we need to be focusing on teaching them that they're deceived by the church, by the apostate church, and by the hippie Christmas Jesus, and they're deceived in that, like the rapture doctrine, all those kinds of things. We need to be focused on teaching them truth from the Bible so they can enter the kingdom and not worried about politics, and because none of that matters. Okay, people are so deceived right now about like the election. They think they can change. They think they can change things. I saw this advertisement the other day that said Trump took a bullet for us and he will save America or something like that. You can't. This is Mystery Babylon. He's not going to save Mystery Babylon. You can't save Mystery Babylon. I mean, the scripture says we would have healed. I think it's Jeremiah 51 says we would have healed Babylon, but she would not be healed. It's the prophecy is straightforward and there. If you'll just go and read Jeremiah 51, and there's a lot of prophecy in Jeremiah and Isaiah, and it is very plain that the United States is Mystery Babylon, and it's about to get destroyed, and it's not pretty. It is going to be a horrible time. The tribulation is going to be a horrible time. And you see, so many Christians are deceived into thinking that there's a pre-tribulation rapture and that they're going in it. And they're the apostate church, and they think that they're going to miss the tribulation. And nothing can be farther from the truth. They're the woman going into the wilderness. At least it's my understanding that the ones that are in the churches and that are deceived because they haven't heard the truth, they will go on the second Exodus, and there will be others that will go. I don't know about, like, there's plenty of people that are just pots fitted for destruction, and they may not go on the second Exodus, but they will be in the tribulation, and many people will be killed. It's going to be a horrible time, and politics is not going to save anything. Okay, this country is about to be destroyed, and all of the distractions about the world and Hollywood and politics and all of those things, it's just something Satan is using. I mean, this election is on so many people's minds. I mean, I don't even watch TV. I don't listen to anything on the radio very much at all. I only focus on what we're supposed to be doing, trying to fulfill the royal law. I listen to my brothers and sisters' videos. I rarely see anything on TV. But when I do, and anytime I hear something like a radio is on, it's always now talking about this election and talking about politics and talking about the Republicans and the Democrats and the things that are happening and going on now. And I promise you, the things that are happening are just Satan's distractions. That's all it is. He wants us to focus on teaching people how the world has deceived them, and it has. And the Masons and the Chaldeans and all of that are here in Mystery Babylon, they have a big part in helping to deceive everyone in the church. So, but it really doesn't matter that they're putting out all these movies and things that are just, everything's a distraction. Hollywood's a distraction. Movies are a distraction. Anything Satan can get you to focus on other than what you need to be focused on, especially if it's deceptions. If there's deceptions out there, he knows you'll be passionate about. If you have been awakened to things that are going on, he knows you'll be passionate about truth. And he tries to put things out there and get you to focus on those things instead of the things of the Bible and focusing on the kingdom and finding the lost sheep of the house of Israel, so that you don't get any of that done. And I just want to say that right now, especially before they have this election, because I promise you, you cannot vote away evil. You cannot. There's nothing you're going to be able to do politically. I hear all the kind of things. We better make this vote count, and Trump's going to save America, and I mean, it's ridiculous, because I can see right through all this. I mean, it's like just pure ridiculousness. I mean, I can see through all this political stuff that it's all just a big distraction and deception. I know so much about it, and I know it's a distraction, and I know that it's controlled and your vote doesn't count and all of that. So no one should be focusing on politics. That's not what we're supposed to be focusing on. And it just gets to me every time I see, like on Twitter, I'll see like Christians talking about speaking out against abortion and speaking out against people being gay and the LGBTQ, and they should. I'm not saying absolutely those things are abominations. Abortions and murder is horrible, and being gay or lesbian is an abomination to Yah. But no one is wanting to take any responsibility for having any part in causing that to happen, because we're told in the Bible that idolatry, there's a sin that leads to death, and that sin is idolatry. And all of these horrible things would not be happening if the church had not just gone completely after all their idols. They've done the same thing that Israel got kicked out of the land for to begin with. I mean, God hates idolatry, and it's the sin that leads to death. And things have just gotten this way because the church has let it happen, because they've gone after their idols and their other gods, and this is the result. I mean, what did it say in Deuteronomy? It said, "I set before you a blessings and curses." There's blessings and curses. Blessings if you keep the commandments, and curses if you don't. So we're getting exactly the things that we deserve. We've all had a part in it, because even though some of us have been awakened and we're trying to wake up other people, and we have turned and repented from all of the idolatry, the pagan holidays. We're keeping the Sabbath. We're not doing Christmas and Easter. We know those are abominations. But even though we've done that, we still had a part that we played, just like the whole church did. Because before we woke up, we did those things too. I think almost all of us in our group that were in the church did those things. I know there's a few that were actually in the Torah movement, but they did the feast. I mean, we did all these things. And idolatry is the sin that leads to death. So, but the church is like, they don't want to take any responsibility for it. They don't even see that they're responsible for it. They see being gay and having abortions as a horrible thing that they need to speak out against, but they don't do anything to stop it, because politics is not going to stop it. Voting for a president is not going to stop it. We're not going to make Mystery Babylon great again. She's headed out. It's going to be bad. So the tribulation is coming really soon. The sixth seal is going to open. The very best thing that we could be doing is trying to find the lost sheep of the house of Israel and teaching them the 10 commandments and getting them to obey the holy covenants, the covenants of promise, the 10 commandments, and eating clean. So no one's doing that. They all just want to point fingers at the LGBTQ and the people that are doing abortions, but yet they're taking no responsibility, and they don't even have a clue that idolatry is the sin that leads to death, but it does. So we need to focus more on actually waking people up and telling them all about the deceptions that they've learned in the church, and all the deceptions that how they've been blinded in part all these years, instead of telling them about how they've been deceived in worldly things, because in the end, that's not going to do any good for them. The only thing that's going to do them any good is to learn how they've been deceived as far as doing the will of God and Yah's commandments. So that's what we need to be focusing on. And I found that those of us that are awake and that were actually trying to keep the commandments and go find the lost sheep, that Satan will distract us in all kind of ways. I mean, he distracts me on Fridays. That's supposed to be the preparation day for the Sabbath, okay? And there will be things that will come up that I never planned, never expected. And I'll end up being up late on Friday night trying to prepare and get things done. And then I kind of get in a bind because I'll get so tired. And then the Sabbath comes, and sometimes I'm in a bind about eating, sometimes because I'm trying to not prepare food on the Sabbath any more than I have to. Like, it's just, I'm trying my best to work on getting everything done on Friday, but it seems like there's always something that comes up and it puts me late and I'm always tired. And then sometimes I even oversleep on Saturday morning so that I don't even get on the Zoom until lunchtime. So Satan's going to put all kinds of distractions out there, and he's going to do everything he can to keep us away from what we're supposed to be doing and what we're actually supposed to be focusing on, which is to find the law, to keep the commandments ourselves and eat clean and find the lost sheep and teach them to do those things. So remember, you can't vote away evil. The whole political realm is just to keep you blindsided and to keep you busy and to keep you distracted, because you're not going to change anything. This is Mystery Babylon. The only way to change anything is for people to start keeping God's laws and teaching others to keep those. The 10 Commandments and eating clean. Those are the 2 covenants of promise. And it's the only way that we would actually be able to change things for the better in this country. Because until we stop doing idolatry and spitting in God's face, it's not going to get any better. And because it's gone on and on for so long, he's tired of it. So this nation's about to get destroyed.